The Kansas City Chiefs' ever-long battle to find themselves a big, run-stuffing defensive tackle to plug in and post up next to Chris Jones takes its next evolution as we are seeing the Kansas City Chiefs sign a player to their practice squad, a player by the name of Siaki Ika, someone that just a couple years ago you heard me rant and rave about coming out in the NFL draft, saying I think he could be a first-rounder. I wasn't alone at that time, guys. Maybe I'm alone today in thinking that this could be a good move, because we will see during the course of this video that he has tumbled in his esteem in the NFL. Now, well, let's just get into it. In an article from Arrowhead Pride titled "Chiefs Fill Practice Squad with Former Browns Defensive Tackle," subtitled "Kansas City has signed former Baylor player Siaki Ika, who joined Cleveland as a third-round pick in 2023," from Arrowhead Pride, written by John Dixon, we get the following introduction. On Friday, we learned from the NFL's official transaction report that the Kansas City Chiefs have signed defensive tackle Siaki Ika to their practice squad. Ika, by the way, this means he would have passed through waivers, I believe. Ika, a 24-year-old native of Salt Lake City who checks in at 6'3", 335 pounds, though he was reportedly at times upwards of 355 pounds in college, spent his freshman year at LSU before entering the transfer portal and joining Baylor. In 2 seasons with the Bears, he accumulated 70 tackles, 60 solo, 11 for loss, 5 sacks, and 3 passes defensed. Ika was selected by the Cleveland Browns in the 3rd round, 98th overall, of the 2023 NFL Draft. His name may be vaguely familiar to you. In Cleveland's 2023 preseason game on JoeH Field at Arrowhead Stadium, the rookie collected a sack of Kansas City quarterback Blaine Gabbert. I will take some time to just kind of... Mr. Dixon, I like you. You don't have to put JoeH Field at Arrowhead. Just say Arrowhead. We have the measurables here as he was coming out of college. 6'3", which is 41st percentile. Not too good, not too bad. It's a good, decent size for a defensive tackle. 335 pounds is 98th percentile. 350th pound would have been 99th or 100th percentile. 10 and 1/4 inch hands, 67th percentile. 32 and 3/8 inch arms, 30th percentile. An arm span of 75 and 7/8 inches is 5th percentile. It is strange looking at a man in football pads whose shoulders with shoulder pads are more narrow than his waist. A 5.39 40-yard dash that he is reportedly still running, and a 4.99 short shuttle with a 1.88 10-yard split and a 7.803 cone drill. One has to wonder why Ika would have even performed in these drills unless it was just for the laughs to go along with it. No one expected him to run a sub 5.3 40-yard dash. No one expected a short shuttle number or a 3-cone drill anywhere even approaching the 20th percentile. But if he were able to do it, he would have definitely been a first rounder. Now, this is from Wikipedia. Cleveland Browns. This is a summary of his NFL career, and I will get you his stats in a moment here. Cleveland Brown Ika was selected by the Cleveland Browns in the 3rd round, 98th overall, of the 2023 NFL Draft. 2023 NFL Draft, 98th overall, top 100 prospect, on August 7th, 2024. Ika was waived by the Browns and later re-signed to the practice squad. He was released on October 15th. So October 15th of 2024, he was cut officially from the Browns and the practice squad. October 24th, he was signed by the Philadelphia Eagles. Ika signed with the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad, but was released 1 week later. He was signed to the practice squad on November 20th, but released 1 week later. So spending a month with the Eagles, but really 2 weeks with the Eagles, but really 1 week with the Eagles outside of the practice squad. Absolutely strange set of circumstances. It makes you wonder exactly what is going on for Siaki Ika in the NFL. We have this from Pro Football Network. This is his pre-draft profile. This isn't the whole thing. He had extensive reports on him from every service because he was such an intriguing prospect, but I thought that this would be worth reading. Siaki Ika scouting report. The value of one true nose tackle in the NFL certainly impacts how a player like Ika will be viewed in the 2023 NFL Draft. However, the Baylor behemoth is set to continue the Bears' strong defensive success story later this month. He's received first-round consideration in some mock drafts, but does Ika's scouting report warrant that lofty of a level of expectation? Strengths. It would be foolish to begin Ika's scouting report anywhere other than his sheer size and the benefits that brings to the football field. His sheer size is truly a strength. While he measured in at the combine significantly smaller than his college listed weight, few defensive tackle prospects in the 2023 class can command space in the same manner that the Baylor behemoth does. Like Jordan Davis in the previous cycle, Ika is the very definition of two on me, somebody's free. In the games studied, he was routinely double-teamed due to the threat that his size, combined with other factors we're about to discuss, presents to an offense. Football is a simple numbers game in some respects. This is one of the strange, often overlooked micro-strategies of the game. When one player commands the attention of two of his opponents, the equation is favorable for the other team. With the 6'3", 335-pound man mountain patrolling their side of the trenches. Against the ground game, Ika flashes a high-level ability to read the run and locate the ball carrier, while consistently being able to lay hands on the rusher regardless of their location. Ika isn't overzealous in his approach to the ground game, instead remaining patient, which helps his overall effectiveness. One has to wonder at this point whether that was patientness or just laziness or slow feet or the inability or disinterest in moving around that much. He also showcases a good anchor against the run. He really did. Ika's scouting report also demonstrates upside potential in the passing game. There's an assumption that he'll be a down-restricted lineman in the NFL. However, he already has a blossoming pass rush toolbox that includes chop and swim moves that he consistently deploys at a high level. I never noticed that, but I did notice that he has an ever-loving bull rush. The Baylor defensive tackle largely showcases fast, powerful hands that rarely allow him to shock his opponents on contact. Ika's able to hit and redeploy with devastating quickness. While he's not the longest defensive tackle in the class, he's also able to disrupt the passing game by getting his hands up into passing lanes. This is very true for Siaki Ika, the prospect. Not particularly true for Siaki Ika, the NFL talent. I am going to share with you now perhaps the most devastating slide I could show you for this signing for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to share with you Siaki Ika's entire production through 2 seasons as an NFL player. His snap counts. Siaki Ika in 2 seasons, really 1 season with the Cleveland Browns in 2023, collected 100 snaps of defense and 5 snaps of special teams. In 100 snaps of defense, he was not able to log a tackle, an assisted tackle, a pass deflection, a sack, or even breaking a toilet seat, though we know he has done plenty of that in his day. There is nothing here to tell you that Siaki Ika is an NFL talent, which is confounding to me. I have to admit, absolutely confounding to me. So we're going to get into the bottom line and what this signing means for the Kansas City Chiefs and moving forward. This is where we have to start. Tershawn Wharton and Derek Nottie are likely gone after this season. Derek Nottie has been on a series of 1-year re-signs for the Kansas City Chiefs and has, I I haven't looked into it, but just by memory, I believe this is probably Derek Notty's worst season in the NFL. Tershawn Wharton is going to get the Willie Gay treatment. Someone is going to sign him for a good number as he hits free agency. Maybe not great number, but a number that the Kansas City Chiefs are unlikely to be able to match. Interesting news there. I have been keeping up with the New Orleans Saints because of their devastating cap number and the likelihood that many players are cap casualties for the Saints is high. It is possible that Willie Gay is once again a free agent after this season. Basically, everywhere you look at the New Orleans Saints media, they're saying he's probably gone. In addition to that, Marlon Tuipulotu is on a one-year contract. He has done absolutely nothing this season and is unlikely to return, in my opinion. Mike Pennell is as well on a one-year contract. Do the math, what that means for the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs have Fabian Levette on their practice squad right now. I think Fabian Levette is an NFL talent, but judging from the fact that I thought that Siaki Ika might be a first rounder, it might not be the wisest thing in the world to listen to me about defensive tackle abilities. So, and potentialities. So I'm not sure that Fabian Levette will be an NFL player at this point. I think so. I do think so. Siaki Ika joins Fabian Levette Jr. on the practice squad. They are wildly different defensive tackles. One of them, I think, is almost certainly going to be on the Kansas City Chiefs active roster next season simply because of the numbers involved in this. Chris Jones, right now, I believe, is the only defensive tackle on the roster next year at this point. Now, one thing to take into consideration, Siaki Ika was a Cleveland Brown, but it was not all that recently. Sometimes moves like this are made as a reconnaissance mission. Hey, sign to our practice squad, we'll give you practice squad money, and you just tell us what this defense right here is. We can't figure it out. You tell us, and you get your money. That is the rumor. Those things happen in the NFL. I don't know. But I don't think that's what's going on this time. I think that this is Brett Veach. First off, this is the Brett Veach special, right? A former high draft pick that is signed for absolutely nothing, and you're going to give him another chance. Has a lot of tools, maybe not as many measurables, but a lot of tools, and you're going to see if he is actually able to fulfill the potential that he had coming out of college. Hasn't worked out maybe ever for the Chiefs, but it's always worth taking that stab at things. So that's what I think is going on here. Now, he can spend the rest of this season on and postseason. By the way, should the Kansas City Chiefs have a lengthy run in the postseason, he will be on the practice squad all of that time as well. And what you can do is you can figure out if he is the college all-star that you saw him be, or if he is the NFL washout. One of those two things is true. And if you think he is closer to the college all-star that you had seen, you can sign him to a futures reserves deal, as you already have him on the roster, and you are teaching him your system as time goes on. So this is really twofold for the Chiefs. Number one, see who he really is. If there is, in fact, a reason that he has played just 100 snaps through 2 seasons in the NFL, or if there is something extenuating in those circumstances. And also, you get to teach him your system, your defense, as he is in Kansas City. Maybe you get to, if you think that he is closer to the college all-star, you get to say, hey, we like your game, but we really need you to do some deadlifts because you're going to be here in order to stop the run. We don't care about your flexibility. We don't care about your mobility. We don't care about your speed. We need you to be a big mound of person in the middle of the field that will keep our linebackers clean. And really, for the Chiefs defense, The reason they are trying so hard to find that great big mound of man that they can put in the middle of their defense that you just can't run at is because it keeps their linebackers clean. It will open them up for the blitz. And this is a linebacker group that is good against the run regardless. I think you're likely to lose Nick Bolton, but Leo Chanel is on the up and up. Drew Tranquil is signed for the medium term, and I think that that's going to be something that works out for the defense. Then they will find another linebacker to bring in the Nick Bolton role. I think it's possible Leo Chanel becomes the Nick Bolton of the future. You find an outside linebacker to bring in onto the field for Leo Chanel, and then you have, again, if you can keep Leo Chanel clean, he's an absolutely devastating weapon to have against an offense. There's just been a little bit of trouble this year, in my opinion, getting that done. So it's confusing with Siaki Ika because pull up his college tape, pull up his college highlights. In college, Ika was an absolute force of nature. He looked like a different breed of animal on the field. His bull rush was incredible, and when he was able to split the center and the guard, he could move. He would accelerate towards the quarterback, and you could almost see the quarterback poop a little bit. Because it was like, oh, that thing is alive and is coming after me. And there's no stats to what I'm about to say. Every time I saw Siaki Ika in pursuit, he forced a bad throw. That's not a number, that's not a stat, but it seems to be one of these things where the psychology of football is a quarterback has the ball in his hand and he is able to throw it, or a man the size of a refrigerator is going to fall on him. He's going to get rid of it. He's not going to contemplate it. He's not going to write a thesis on why a quarterback should not throw the ball away. He should scramble and whatever. There's no theory or theology behind it. You see a man that big bearing down on you, you let the ball go. So he played in the Big 12. The Big 12 is not necessarily known for having the best offensive linemen in college football. That's normally SEC Big 10. But that's big-time football. He had to play Oklahoma, Texas. Oklahoma State often has some good linemen. So I don't know where the mistranslation of this skill set happens, but he has been absolutely buried during his time in the NFL. So hopefully that has just been something that hasn't worked out for him, and he can re-tap into who he had been at the college level, and we will see. Maybe he gets called up to the active roster this season. Marlon Tuipulotu is not playing. If it happens to be that Siaki Ika comes in and makes a mark for himself, and I don't just mean on the bus bench, then you can call him up because he is part of your team this season and maybe get something out of him. But anyway, guys, that's what I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, I had a preview and prediction for the Browns game earlier today. Yesterday, I dropped a video about the Chiefs offensive line and the future there. And I also had one about Steven Nelson. So check those videos out as well if you have not already done so. If you hit the like button, it really does help me out as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on this channel, dropping multiple videos every single week. And I hope to have you back for the next one.